What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good, everybody? We just getting in here. Good morning to everybody. Sunday. All praise goes to the Most High. We got some wine going on. We're gonna get into everything today. This is live from Springfield, Ohio. We're just gonna ease into it. Let the viewers get in here. The whole world is against me. Yeah. Ever since the death of PMC. Me, I'm up in the studio. Me and my drink. Me and my drink. Me and my drink. I'm up in the studio. Me and my drink. Me and my drink. Me and my drink. And you sit on 25. I sit on 24. You sit on 24. I sit on 24. In the 20 ounce and call it 24. I'm riding now, meaning never riding out. I'm a mouth. I should slow down a little. Bottle cap, I buy a bottle cap. Get out the Waffle House. I'm living Wayne's World. How do you get on this live? Please don't judge me. Please don't come me. Please don't judge me. In the studio, me and my drink, me and my drink, in the studio, me and my drink. Me and my drink, me and my drink. After our yellow rain over him. It's the M.O.E. My baby. Just outside living like down in the purple. Oh, how she better try to know stronger than humanity. High school, he was a fool, he was only 18. Dreams of becoming a little superstar. Rolling the front dollar through the streets of 30 but it was all my religion with Jason Murphy. They were like the same, I had a codeine thing. And his team was the coldest every day they wrote there. Niggas that hold no niggas that just screwed up good. My baby, my baby. Yeah, I said that is out. I don't know what to say. I said they take you out. I said they want to say. I said that is out. I don't know what to say. I said they take you out. I said they want to say. Fuck what they say. Mr. DJ, so I was your wrist for you. Walked in the studio, me and my drink, me and my drink. Me and my drink, yeah. In the studio, me and my drink, me and my drink. Hey, up in the studio, me and my drink, me and my drink, me and my drink. Up in the studio. Straight from the bottom of my kitchen, I give it to these bitch niggas like mama taught me. No man with no weapon in arm, I'm an army. My clothes have to attention, lieutenant, your penny pension. And they demolished that invention. You better get your dollars up. And guess what? I was up and get my cheese like Mickey Mouse, or else you better down out.
Like a shooting range target, I get all kind of bucks. Nigga, bye-bye, good luck. That's the bye-bye. Got your mama shook up, little badass nigga who thought Popeye wasn't tough. I'm on that la twist it up. I'm on that slurp, slow it down. And I like 442, but I ain't drunk, but it's going down. I bet a marijuana pill, and I just mow it down. Big bad wolf, yeah, I just blow it down. No homo into Holly Grove, I will hold it down like a circle of knives. I got the sharpest flow around. Future. Because I came up off the world. We're gonna wait for all the viewers to get here. Heart of a king, blood of a hey. Let's hope YouTube don't take it down. Hey.
What's common sense to share it Brown voted to allow
I'll be right back. Stay right here.
Sports and supported allowing sex change surgeries for kids. But just common sense. Extreme Sherrod Brown makes no sense for Ohio.
I know the future.
Did you know it's made with coffee milk? It's sweet and creamy, by the way. Chocolate! City streets.
Let's go, Louisiana. Come on. Come on. New Orleans, the street called Eagle, and everybody's ill. Yeah, illegal. People, we still, but we still eat. Trouble still see you, and even if you're dead broke, we are still equal. One time for the little people, eat your meal, don't let your bill eat you. Hey. I run with trouble. And the God never felt the way he felt. He went heaven, so he went left. I mean, that ain't right. Plus, he was high as a in that same. Shit, I just kept 12 in the. Hey, introduced to the game when I was just a child. Mama, straight. Hey, I died. We died. Told me, Daddy, don't cry. I'm alive. See me with no sin. And this is how the note ends. Elvis.
You know, just kick it back.
I run with trouble. The coke smell just like a bunch of coffee beans, you know what I mean? And everything ain't what it seems, you know what I mean? I have that red bean on hot beans. I ain't tripping, baby. Money got me. Street girl deep. Phase 2. I ain't jumping in that jumpsuit. I'm on my 1-2. Check me out. Fuck around and check you. Respect, dude. Pay yours, nigga. Mine's under the seat by my feet. Where's yours, nigga? Too much horse liquor. Too much pressure. Too much force. Hey, and we stop the snitches at the door. Cut the tail off the rat. He won't rat no more. Stroking with my cheek shooting till I burn my sleeve. Represent New Orleans like a Florida leash. No, we more than steal from the rich so the poor can eat. Niggas act accordingly. Hey, soldier, don't war with me. Come on, Weezy. Over street. I run with trouble. Trouble. Shout out to Wayne, man. Shout out to Wayne. Iconic, all-time legend, man. And that's where we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Welcome everybody that is viewing out there. This is a live stream. I just decided to go live, cut through the editing process, anything like that. It's been a while since I've been on my channel. I've been moving and dealing with a lot. My parents have been moving, so I just kind of am still getting things set up and stuff. So I figured I'd just go live today. Some more consistency should be coming from the channel. As you guys know, there's been a lot of shit going on lately. A lot of stuff going on. And we've even become the spotlight, the center of the national election. And Springfield, Ohio has been highlighted and spotlighted on the national scale and turned into a political apparandi. We've been turned into a talking point for this election here. So, but before we really get into that, I want to really just start on a more lighter note, and I just want to kind of discuss the Wayne Kendrick situation. For people out there that don't know, Kendrick Lamar has been named the headliner of the 2025 Super Bowl this year, hosted by Roc Nation, who in turns is Jay-Z's company that he's founded, I should say. And Kendrick Lamar has been the selection for this Super Bowl 2025. This announcement was made actually a week ago today, last Sunday, on the first week of the season, which I think since Jay-Z, I want to say the last 2 or 3 years, they have kind of stuck. And I don't know if it was like this previously. I really feel like it's been since the Roc Nation tenured that on the first week of the NFL, the opening week, we've been getting Super Bowl announcements on who the performer would be, which I think is a dope thing. So anyways, Kendrick Lamar announces that he will be the headliner for this year's Super Bowl. And this sent ripple waves through the whole entire industry and the entire culture, pop culture too, as well. I mean, as of last Sunday, it was well received. It was, touted. People thought that it was just another feather in the cap for Mr. Kendrick Lamar, who's coming off of the biggest rap beef we've seen in decades. So a lot of people felt like it was just another feather in his cap, a victory lap, one could say. But other people felt like he was doing too much, or it was just beating a dead horse. So over the time, after the announcement was made and it kind of settled in, the news settled in, we began to hear the other side of things, which is that this Super Bowl is being hosted in New Orleans this year, and that Lil Wayne, who is right now at this point in his career, we would be safe to call him a legacy act, because he's not currently actively involved in the day-to-day moving and shifting of hip hop right now. Although he is supposed to be releasing a Carter 5 very, very soon, probably at the top of next year or so. He announced it going on a year and a half ago. But he also early this year had a interview where he talked about wanting this Super Bowl spotlight and actually wanting the Super Bowl appearance. So with that being said, with Lil Wayne being as big as he is, and everyone kind of him publicly saying that he wanted to do the Super Bowl, people begin to give Kendrick Lamar and Roc Nation mainly a lot of backlash for not choosing Lil Wayne in his hometown, New Orleans. So we're going to just kind of talk about both sides of the coin here, because I obviously see huge Wayne fan, huge Wayne fan, grew up on Wayne, love Wayne to death. But I could see both sides here. Obviously it's in New Orleans. And I think a lot of people, and this has been beat over everybody's heads this past week, I think a lot of people have been since the 2022 Super Bowl where we had Dr. Dre, and it was in LA, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick, and that whole conglomerate aftermath was on stage. I mean, they also had 50 and Mary J. Blige and stuff, but it was mainly an LA event. I think pretty sure the LA Rams was in it. Go figure. And pretty sure they won. So it was a big LA event, and people just assumed that that is kind of the way that this is going to be. Rihanna performed last year, or Rihanna performed after that, and then last year was Usher. So obviously, the Super Bowl outside of that LA event doesn't have a long history. We don't have much to pull from stating that if it's a hometown event, the hometown legend of that event should perform. However, it'd have been good gesture. It is Lil Wayne. He is a big enough global superstar to be able to, Carter 6. Thanks, Hunter. Is it the Carter 6? Yeah, Carter 6. Carter 6. Apologies, not Carter 5. Lil Wayne's obviously a big enough star, especially he has the reach to be able to justify him being on the Super Bowl. Now, obviously, this would have been a big thing for Cash Money. Birdman has spoke out about this. Nicki Minaj went on a Coke rant. I'm just joking. I don't know if it was a Coke rant, but Nicki Minaj did go on a rant regarding this, and she defended Lil Wayne. Drake has liked some posts. So obviously, Cash Money, Young Money, Cash Money, because Young Money is Drake, Wayne, Nicki, Tyga, them. Cash Money would have been Birdman, Juvenile, Manny Fresh, the Hot Boys, all of them. They are all up in arms about this because this would have been a good look for them. I believe we had a Hot Boys reunion tour or something like maybe a year or two ago. Nicki is getting ready to roll out an album. Drake, it would have been a good look for Drake just to get back into the good graces of the culture. Wayne is in the process of rolling out an album. I think one of the members of the Hot Boys just were recently released, but I do believe that there was a little bit of turmoil there in that camp as far as the Cash Money goes. A lot of bad contracts given out back in the day between Birdman and some of those people there. But how do you guys feel? Like, do you guys feel like Wayne is not only deserving, because obviously I believe he's deserving of the spot, but do you think that this was his Super Bowl moment? Was this his time to get the Super Bowl? I personally believe that we are past that stage for Wayne. That's just how I feel personally. Love Wayne to death. He's one of my favorite all-time artists, period, especially in his prime. But I would say, obviously, he's not as active anymore. He hasn't had a record that we really can reference or go to in the last quite a bit. So I can't even remember the last record. I mean, Uproar came out when Carter 5 came out. That kind of was in the ethos, but I feel like that was a little bit more beat over our heads and paid for, more so than we actually liked it, or me at least, I should speak for. I didn't really like that record that much, but we did hear it a lot. Outside of that, I can't really think of a record that Wayne has recently that would be any good. So I think he's really kind of past his time when it comes to that. I think that, back in the early 2010s would have been a great time for him. But obviously, Roc Nation wasn't in charge of the Super Bowl performance at this time. And we were getting, the NFL used to catch a lot of flack for not having some inclusion or diversity when it came to the Super Bowl performances. Outside of Prince and Mike, we've had Beyonce performed, Bruno Mars have performed, Janet Jackson. We know the situation with Janet Jackson and the nip slip. So, but there hasn't been a lot of hip hop acts on the Super Bowl stage. So, granted, I don't think that they would have dialed Wayne's number, but he definitely was big enough to do it. He's been big enough for the last 10, 13, 14 years to do the Super Bowl performance in a year. Now, the discussion about his catalog. Does Wayne have hit songs? Yes. Does Wayne have a lot of Billboard topping songs? Yes. But as you guys know, with Wayne, a lot of his content is a little bit on the vulgar side, and it's a little bit more, I would say it's not mass appealing for people. Now, it charts is good for the radio. He makes a lot of catchy songs. He features a lot, but a lot of the content in his song centers around sexual explicities, innuendos. Granted, he does a lot of metaphors and a lot of he does it in a creative way and stuff. But there will be a lot of censoring for Wayne for a Super Bowl performance. I just wanted to start there. I think it would take a lot of censoring, and usually when these acts do these performances on such a large scale, like an MTV performance, a VMA's performance, a Grammy performance, you usually do a clean version. And is Wayne in? And we've seen Wayne perform recently in the last few years at some big like All Stars events, certain stuff like that. We've seen Wayne perform, and he's revised a lot of his material, like a Millie, I think he did, and he threw some, he substituted some words, so he can do it. But a lot of people feel like, or word within the industry is that Wayne doesn't necessarily put a lot of time and effort into his performances as far as the revise and making clean versions and stuff like that. So I don't know if he would have done it justice from a business standpoint. If you're looking at it from the Super Bowl standpoint and Rock Nation standpoint, I don't know if he would have done as much justice as we know Kendrick would do. Now, on the flip side, Kendrick is coming off of the biggest rap beef we've seen in decades, if not ever. He has a long history of giving great performances on national televised events. He was already at the Super Bowl 2 years ago, granted as a guest, but he had a big part in that Super Bowl. And he has a long list of being able to censor and clean and give actual great performances. I'm not saying Wayne doesn't. Yeah, I kind of am. But I'm just saying there's more to pull from when it comes from a Kendrick Lamar performance at the Super Bowl to cover all your bases. Now, people are saying Kendrick doesn't have the catalog as Wayne. I would say that a lot of people, as far as, maybe if you're talking about Billboard hits and stuff like that, but the quality of records, if we go and look at their Billboard hits, their top 10 Billboard hits, I think Wayne has maybe 25, Kendrick has 13 or something like that. If we look at the quality of those hits and the content in those hits, you cannot tell me that Kendrick doesn't have necessarily a stronger thing to pull from as far as content. We're going to get, I just want to, we could kind of talk about what we think that they will pull from. I got it here. Wayne obviously has chart topping songs like Lollipop, Millie, She Will. He has some songs with Drake and Nicki in there, various features. More stuff off the Carter 3, How to Love, off the Carter 4. But like how much of that, he has Go DJ, he has Fireman, which I think he would probably intro with Fireman or something like that. But how much of that has the content that a Super Bowl audience is willing to digest? Versus you got Kendrick Lamar, who has songs called like Loyalty, hits like Loyalty, Love, All Right, Money Trees, Swimming Pools, even Bitch Don't Come a Vibe. Granted, you would have to censor it, which he has done before, but these records have some more meat and potatoes to them. They have a better content, more depth to them. And then, the elephant in the room would be, is Kendrick going to be performing Not Like Us, which is a lot of the backlash that he's receiving from this nod from the Super Bowl committee, is that, people are just saying that they're tired of the Not Like Us. They're tired of his victory lap against Drake. And a lot of it is that Drake has a mass audience. So a lot of them are just giving us pushback. And I believe they're doing it. They're using Wayne to try to stop the train that is Kendrick Lamar the year of 2024. I'm here to tell you guys that I just don't believe Cat Williams told y'all at the beginning of the year what the year was going to be all about. It's been the year of truth, and that all lies would be exposed. And as we continue to go through this year, that continues to be a narrative that I continue to go back to and use it as a measuring stick. for everything that's going on. And I don't think that I do not believe that this is going to stop Kendrick Lamar. You guys can use Wayne all you guys want. Drake fans, you can use Wayne, and it's really disgusting. I really don't like it because I love Lil Wayne, and I don't like seeing Drake and Nicki fans use him for some pity party. That, and granted, Wayne did his own interview, and he did provide his own pity party, but I'd rather it come from him than a lot of the fan bases that it's coming from, because it just looks nasty. It looks like Wayne. I mean, we're just doing Wayne a disservice. He can speak for himself. He's a legend in his own right. We don't need Nicki Minaj fans and Drake fans coming out to his defense and giving Wayne this pity party. It just doesn't look good from an ambiance standpoint. It doesn't look good. It's just a tough conversation because I never have wanted to be one to pit Wayne and Kendrick against each other. I think they're two different sides of the coin. But I do believe at this time that Kendrick deserves and warrants a Super Bowl performance. A lot of people out there that may disagree, they aren't even aware of the mass appeal of a Kendrick Lamar. See, I think with Kendrick Lamar, his team and his how do I want to put this? His ability to, his whole artist, I can't think of the word, but his ability to drop these records and impact culture and shift culture and then go away has a lot of people really understating his impact or his ability or his mass appeal. Kendrick Lamar is a global superstar, and I don't think that this Drake beef just bolstered or bolstered him into superstardom, guys. He's been a superstar that has been super reserved. And you got to remember that in between years that Kendrick Lamar doesn't drop, he's still 1A, 1B, I'm not talking about from a quality or output standpoint. I'm talking about most talked about rapper in the game. That's just what it is. Even when he's not present, he still has an impact on this culture. People are still talking day in and day out about where's Kendrick Lamar. All hip hop conversations, not all hip hop conversations, but a lot of hip hop conversations are still centered around Kendrick Lamar and his lack thereof of output. So he has a unique ability to stay in to conversations, even with putting out less material than others. So I think that it fools a lot of people on his mass appeal. But Kendrick Lamar, as we've seen, I think that this beef only highlighted his massive appeal, and also it highlighted his ability to pop over, to be able to reach that audience, and he kind of did it with ease. And I think that is, if it's really a topic for another day, but it's a conversation to be had. That I personally hope that he put to bed any narratives that, when's his last hit, he can't make a hit. I mean, he did it at the snap of a finger, guys. And I mean, Not Like Us is still, in the top 5 Billboard hits. It's still number 1 on Apple Music. It's still number 1 on Spotify. It's still the number 1 most streamed song. It's breaking all these records. But not only Not Like That, Not Like Us, because a lot of people are just like, he's only going to perform Not Like Us. I mean, people have such amnesia that they forget that when Like That dropped with Future, and Metro, that broke all the records. It broke all the streaming records. It was number 1 for 2 weeks. It had the impact that it had. Then Euphoria was number 2 or 3 on the Billboard charts, and it stuck around for a long time. And then to kind of transition, then we get Watch the Party Die, or the untitled record that Kendrick Lamar just suddenly dropped on September 11th, the day of 9/11. He dropped it, I believe, at like 5:03 Standard Time, and it shook up the industry again. Obviously, granted, a lot of this is on the heels of Not Like Us and the battle with Drake, so everybody's wondering what would be the conversation, or what would be his first you know, what's coming from him after the beef. So granted, a lot of that stems from that, but it's the content in the song that we're going to get into that is the topic of the discussion here. And Watch the Party Die. I've seen a lot of people cover it. A lot of people talk about it. We got Kendrick Lamar really kind of standing outside of what I'll say is it's kind of like, you know, the after effects or the collateral, him assessing the collateral damage of the beef. But it's also an action song. It's also a song stating, really, to me, it's a song that is telling you the narrative in which he is willing to go for at the next stage of his art at his artistry. From what I gather from it is that Kendrick Lamar was doubling down. I got some news for you guys. Kendrick Lamar was doubling down on some of the content on Meet the Grams. That's what I'll say. There was some content in the middle of Meet the Grams, not the whole Donner thing, but there was some content in Meet the Grams that was really dark, and it had to do about the industry and some of the things that the industry does. And I think Watch the Party Die was him doubling down. He has a line in Watch the Party Die. I keep calling it that. It's really untitled. It's an untitled track, but he has a line in there about, even the last line about the children looking out the window and the children can play. They have a future today. They have a future tomorrow because today the party died. He has another line in there about the future of children and stuff like that because of his content on Mr. Morale. And I think what a lot of people are missing, and he made reference to this in Meet the Grams, is Kendrick Lamar believes, here's what I'm gathering. Kendrick Lamar believes that there is a sex trafficking ring going on within the industry. At the top of the year, we were supposed to be getting the Epstein list, guys. Ever since then, it seems like everything under the universe has happened. I mean, 2024 has been the most insane, eventful year I can remember in my lifetime, at least. We got presidential assassination attempts. We have the media not covering that story. We have the immigration crisis. We have the election. We have 2 separate wars going on with a possible third front breaking out. I mean, there's more things that we have. The Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, which went way further than we could ever imagine. There's been, and inside of that Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, we had like we're witnessing industry wars. We seen P. Diddy situation, which also is tied into this. But what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to get to is that Kendrick Lamar believes that there is a sex trafficking ring going on in the industry, and he believes that he was meant to make Mr. Morale. And if you know anything about Mr. Morale, it is it's Kendrick's personal story, and it's about his upbringing and stuff like that. But he felt like him being able to put that in the limelight and release that and get that off his chest should unlock or take away burdens for people who felt like they weren't able to discuss these things on a regular, especially in our culture in the hip hop space. So he believes that, this is what I'm gathering. I can't speak for him, but just in being a fan and listening to his music thoroughly, I'm getting that he believes that Mr. Morale was the antithesis, it was the key to unlock some of the discussions that he's getting ready to unlock. I mentioned earlier this year that I believe he was going to have a Machiavelli year. I've just seen some things, and all of these top tier artists are into occultism. And I mean, you hear that word and you kind of think, devil worshiping, numbers, witchcraft, kind of that kind of stuff. But That's really not what that is. That is just numerology, astrology, and all these things mixed together. And Kendrick Lamar has been into these things since the beginning of his career. And that's why he's able to make such found impacts on his during his drops, because he has these timely drops that hit like nuclear bombs when he drops things, and he does it based off of time, dates, and we just came upon the 28-year anniversary of Tupac's death on September 13th, and Kendrick Lamar and a lot of these top tier artists pay attention to these things, and that's why you get these underlying messages in their music if you really dig deeper. But I say all that to say, Watch the Party Die, to me, was Kendrick doubling down. There has to be some industry things going on that we obviously don't see. Whereas I think people at the top at these labels and execs and stuff are trying to convince Kendrick to let his foot off Drake's neck. But I think it's a bigger umbrellic issue that's going on. And Drake just kind of represents a thing that Kendrick doesn't like, which is, now we know Kendrick called him a pedophile, him and his team. But I think he was setting the stage on Meet the Grams and They Not Like Us to expose some other covers that are going on in the industry. And I think that Watch the Party Die, if you really listen to the lyrics, especially that third verse, second and third verse, was him telling whoever's listening, not just to the casual listeners, the hip hop fans, but I think other people that are involved in this, that he is not backing away from this content. He's not backing away from this content. Granted, was this also a good move to kind of change the narrative and switch the conversation between him and Wayne? Yes, I think that was a point to be had and something that he did. But I also believe, if you listen to the lyrics closely, which I want to get into, it was his way of also saying that he is doubling down on some of the content. He's going forward with the content that he's going to be doing, which I think is going to be exposing on some like Stanley Kubrick Eyes Wide Shut type shit. I think it's going to be him exposing some shit going on in the industry. Kendrick Lamar is a free man now, guys. And that's another conversation to be had too, is that I don't think people are talking about how well he's played his cards within this industry, to even position himself how he's positioning himself. Let me tell y'all something about Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is with all the shit. He can preach all this conscious stuff and stuff like that, but there's another side to him, if you listen to his music, that he talks about all the time. The duality, the Gemini, where it is not a coincidence to me that this battle popped off now. Kendrick Lamar is no longer associated with TDE as far as direct contractual obligations and stuff like that. He's doing all this stuff through PG Lang, which is independently owned, and he just partners with Universal and other major distributing companies now. So all of this beef, all of the stuff he's generating through this beef, all of the attention he's getting through this beef, the Super Bowl performance, the money that's going to be generated from that is going towards Kendrick Lamar's bottom line, guys. That is going towards PG Lane and his own company's bottom line. So it's not a coincidence that he waited. And I think that you're going to get a different version of Kendrick Lamar. You're going to get a more active version of Kendrick Lamar. I predicted this way before the beef, just from a business standpoint, because he was not, I personally believe he loved TDE. He loves Top Dog. He was signed to Aftermath and Interscope. He was not going to continue to make all that money for them and not get, his own just due from it. So now that we see a free Kendrick Lamar who controls his own rights and controls his own, he controls a lot of his own publishing and licensing and all that stuff, you're going to see more Kendrick Lamar. Let me see if I can find the lyrics here okay, The Day the Party Died. Okay. So let's see. Let me see. In the beginning, he's talked about it. Shit done got too wicked to apologize. So again, that's an action statement saying there's no turning back for him. He goes deep into it, like talking about killing killers and media people that he wants to be done away with, and that you must burn a whole village to start over. And that's just, it's a philosophy. It's a Sun Tzu philosophy, in the art of war and stuff like that. Sometimes, it's destroy and rebuild. Sometimes you have to incite violence. I mean, in fact, I always say this: we don't know any, and I'm gonna get into this a little bit later with the Springfield National Spotlight, but we don't know any revolution. When you think of the word revolution, and you think of people fighting for freedom, even America's independence and the American Revolutionary War and stuff like that, like they got these means through violence, guys. And it's only governments that have you at their jurisdiction or have you underneath their thumb that try to convince you that violence isn't the answer. But if you look into their own history, every government, every kingdom, every rulership, anything, they have armies, they have defense arm, they have everything, and they've gone out and not only defended their state and territory, but they've also tried to expand on their own territory, and they use means of violence. So this whole idea of destroying and rebuilding, it's not a foreign idea to anybody, or it shouldn't be. So don't let these people tell you that, that's not the way to get it done, and that, Jesus wouldn't do it like that. I mean, that's all poppycock. That's all poppycock. But let's see here. Again, just walk that man down. That'll do everyone a solid. It's love, but tough love sometimes got to result in violence. Tough love sometimes sometimes tough love is through means of harm. And I'm not necessarily just saying physical harm, but it could be, when a parent might give you tough love, it could be a tongue lashing. And obviously, that doesn't feel the best, and so there's things when you're trying to reset something. In fact, biblically and spiritually and religiously, a new earth. He mentions a new earth in here. Or if you want to go biblical or religiously, in the Quran, in the Bible, it talks of, Jahannam or heaven, hell, and the apocalypse and Revelations. That's all destroying to rebuild. That's all what those ideas are, and that's what they stem from. Let's see here. He gets into it with the influencers that are pushing propaganda. He's talking about academics, and all the Drake bot pages that we are so fucking sick of. I mean, so sick of. But I really want to get into this verse here. Where are we at? Here we go. Okay. Starting no more pillow talking, starting neighborhood wars, dirty macking bitches because your spirit is insecure. The flashy nigga with nasty decisions using money as a backbone. I want his head cracked before he's back home. The radio personality pushing propaganda for salary. Let me know when they turn up as a casualty. I want agony, assault and battery. I see a new earth filled with beautiful people making humanity work. So even the duality there, that first little bit, he is inciting violence, and he is, one could say that he's literally inciting violence or telling his listeners to, subject people to these things that fit that narrative or fit that description. But then the other half, he says, I see, after all of those things, he says, I see a new earth filled with beautiful people making humanity work. So again, the duality of that concept that, here's a man talking about war in one half, and then the other half, he's talking about peace. Let's kill the followers that follow up on popping mollies from the obvious degenerates that failing to acknowledge the hope that we're trying to spread. If I'm not his vote. So it's almost like a political campaign. Let's kill those people. But if I'm not his vote, then you need to bring his head. So it's Kendrick really putting his stake in the game and saying that there is a new, or there's getting ready to be a new presidential candidate, or there's going to be a new rulership or dictatorship. There's going to be a new way of thinking, and he is basically staking his claim at being the one that is going to put this into action. Then here we go. It says, sometimes I wonder what Lecrae would do. Lecrae being a Christian-based rapper, he is a legend in that field. Do your homework on Lecrae. Great Christian rapper. And him and Kendrick have had, there was theories back on what was the hip hop page we all used to know? Two hip hop boys. I'm having a brain fart right now, but it was an old hip hop blog page back when Kendrick and him came up, and they used to highlight. They've highlighted one time Lecrae and Kendrick Lamar's relationship, but also that Kendrick Lamar is essentially, to some people, especially back then, a Christian-based rapper guising as a mainstream act. And if you go through Kendrick's content, it's just scattered and littered with a bunch of religious and even Christian views, you could say, but even other views. But it's definitely scattered with like religious views and religious texts and symbolism and occultism and underlying messages. But anyways, he says, sometimes I wonder what Lecrae would do. Fuck these niggas up or show them just what prayer do. Again, duality. I want to be empathetic. My heart like B1. Again, another, he's a New Orleans-based rapper. And I think that was intentional to kind of steer away some of the conversation between him and Wayne. But I will, and then it blanks out. It's censored. And I think that's to just highlight that he had such evil thoughts that we didn't even need to hear it. And it's up for imagination. And here's where it really gets a little bit interesting to me, and he gets a little bit more abstract. And I think this is where a lot of people in this particular song should sink their teeth and potatoes into, because when it gets to abstract writing and stuff like that, it leaves it up more stuff up for interpretation, which takes more time for us to digest and dissect it. So anyways, it's time to get these devils out the way. Heavy metals on my sword, which I thought that was an interesting line. We settle hard disputes today. That's an interesting line because if you guys remember Drake's last rebuttal, he said he was seasoned with preparation. He was an Army veteran, a war general, Army veteran, seasoned with preparation. And here Kendrick says, it's time to get these devils out the way. Heavy metals on my sword. So, Drake said he wore heavy metals. And Kendrick here says, heavy metals on my sword. We settle hard disputes today. The ghetto Hollywood divorce. Again, disruption of what is the status quo right now in the industry. Ghetto Hollywood divorce. Say hello to your future fate. So he's illustrating an emperor, slicing all that shit up, essentially. Ghetto Hollywood divorce. Say hello to your future fate. The culture bred with carnivores. The culture is bred with carnivores, so we got to play on words there. Bread, carnivores. You let them snack, they eat your face. The signatures is being forged. They wonder why I'm not enthused to drop. The more visible you get, the more your spiritual is tried. So that's Kendrick just kind of explaining his thought process and his reasoning behind being such a global phenomenon that he is, but being such a low-key artist. He's saying that, the more and more I pop out and show myself and show my teeth and be a little bit more visible, the more that my spiritual is going to be tried because, you're just opening yourself up to those spiritual forces. And, D1 actually has a line kind of regarding this that, some people hate to, I'm paraphrasing here. Some people hate to see a conscious nigga out and about pretty much because it bothers their own demons. So, you have these figures that we've had in historical times, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and just, I can go on. And a lot of people, bite back during the times at these people because they disrupt your own demons. When you have somebody out there moving like that, they could disrupt your own demons. So you kind of come at them, with this nasty kind of outlook, or you kind of try to find a hypocrite within them because you see one within yourself. So he says, it's cynical to say, I know that these artists petrified. The end results in jail by Jezebel or drugged up full of lies. That is what caught my, let me see if I can get rid of this ad here because I need to see what this is saying. Let's see what genius in it. And let's see what they say here. We know what's in it. We know what that is. We know what being cynical is. It, stems from stoicness and cynicism is like, thinking the negative. You're just negative. You have the negative outlook on certain things there. I don't really like this breakdown they give. Let me give you guys. So he mentions Jezebel and he mentions jail here. So Jezebel is, let's see here. I like that they did that. Jezebel was a sex demon, essentially. I mean, she ruled, and she's a representation of women and their their lustful nature, and the power of a woman and their lustful nature, especially in regards to men and controlling men. So that's who Jezebel represents. But it says it's cynical to say I know these artists are petrified. The end result, in jail by Jezebel or drugged up, full of lies. So he's saying that a lot of artists are trapped. And again, this is off of, talking about Hollywood divorce, Meet Your Future Fate. And, but he's saying a lot of artists are trapped. And I'm not specifying who he's speaking of here, because this covers a wide range of artists and a lot of people in the industry and in culture itself. But they're in jail by Jezebel. Like, that spirit of Jezebel could be upon you, man. A lot of people have sex demons and they don't even know it. And then he says, critical. I know my physical is tested all the time. I'm pitiful. Sunk in place soon as I'm questioning my pride. I'm seeing ghosts, blacking out, relapsing one thought at a time. So this is just a man questioning his own sanity and the depths that he's willing to go to, sometimes due to his own pride. He's saying that he's not above pride and he's not above these things, and he still struggles with these things. Now, granted, the way he moves and the idea of a Kendrick Lamar to the masses, people continuously do not allow him to be that hypocrite that he constantly states in his own music, and it's sad. Then he says, I spare no feelings that ain't mine. I'm in my feelings when I slide. I mean, I wonder what Lecrae would do. Terrence Martin said, I'm mentally with layers. True. I flood the market with my best regards. I pay your dues. And so it's up. If you ain't one of ours, it's bad news. Again, action. This is, to me, foreshadowing the direction he is getting ready to go in with his album. And to me, it just kind of submitted what I already thought the direction was going to be. He says, my nigga Jay Estrada said, I got to burn it down to build it up. We talked about that earlier. Nas has a song called Destroy and Rebuild. It's just an idea. Again, in order for you to really rebuild something with new ideas, new philosophy, new life, you have to completely annihilate the old way of thinking. Anytime we're in this 2,000-year period, and we are serving a new God. We're under a new way of thinking. That this 2,000-year period is totally different than some of the ancient rulerships that we were under. So again, in order for you to rebuild something up completely properly, you have to burn the old thing completely down. It says that confirmation real as fuck. It ain't too many real as us. Locking into what I trust. Looking outside. The kids live tomorrow because today the party just died. That is a really interesting line to me there. That's a very interesting line that he would say, the kids live today. Or let me see what the line is again. Let's see here. The kids live tomorrow because today the party just died. Again, I've seen this be brought up in his content since Mr. Morale a few times now, and I'm pretty sure I'm understanding where he's going to go with it. So it's just very interesting to see. So, I mean, just let me know what you guys think about it. I think we are at there's a culture war going on right now, and Wayne represents one half of the culture, and Kendrick Lamar is he represents another half, and that's just what the truth is. And it's a hard truth for a lot of people to swallow and face, but it is what the truth is. Which will win? Does light overtake dark? Does dark overtake light? I'm not necessarily saying Lil Wayne is dark, but some of the content in his lyrics definitely doesn't help move us forward as a culture. That's just how I feel. You know, the other thing, we got some football going on. Shout out to my football fanatics out there. Tua injured himself last week again. I know my homeboy Hunter salty about that. But Tua announced, I think it's official. Tua announced that he's working with a concussion specialist. Last I've read, and that he does not have any plans of retiring. Now, I just wonder how long it takes before Roger Goodell, the NFL, steps in, or what comes into play. The Miami Dolphins eventually have to step in. He's one injury away. He cannot afford to have no other head injury at all in his career. Or I think somebody is going to step in and force him to retire. They can put out a statement. They can act like Tua did it himself. They can say he walked away willingly. I'm not that silly. So we're on the cusp of a forcible retirement. Now, I think he's going to be out a month or so. And it'd just be very interesting to see how he comes back and how they utilize him after coming back. I wonder, is this going to, does the Dolphin strategy change? Are they as aggressive? And Tua just has to learn to slide, and he has to learn a little bit of, I guess, he wants to fight the narrative of being a game manager, that he could become too aggressive sometimes there. And I think it'd be, like I said, it'd be just pretty interesting to see. My Steelers went 1-0. We beat the Dirty Birds. Fuck you, Shane. You said we weren't going to win. I told you we had TJ Watt. I told you our defense was stout, and it's up. It's up. I think we faced the Denver Broncos today, and I think we are home. So hopefully we get this dub and start 2-0. That'd be a good start. The fucking AFC North, our whole fucking division started off 0-1. Browns blew it. Baltimore blew it. Bengals fucking blew it. They blew it. So shout out to Pittsburgh. We are 1-0, and right now we are the division leaders. So I like to hear that. Now, I didn't think we played that good offensively. We played actually horrible. We didn't play good at all. And we really got to figure out this quarterback situation. But getting off of the NFL real quick, I just kind of wanted to get to my main topic here. You guys had to sit through the first hour here. We talked about some other things, but the main topic going on right now is the situation going on in the hometown of Springfield, Ohio, where I'm currently located, where I was born and raised in. I don't know if I'm proud to say that right now, but it is what it is. And plus, I don't, as much as I'm sure Springfield has played an influence on me, which, just naturally it would. I don't wear things like that, so it doesn't really bother me. People can say whatever. I move solely based off of my spiritual understanding, my empathetic gifts, and just self. So I could be anywhere, and I'm not going to say it doesn't make a difference, because obviously culturally it's going to make a difference. But I'm just saying the narrative that's surrounding Springfield now, that really doesn't affect me. So I'm actually with a lot of the jokes. I know people are saying that they're harmful and stuff like that, but granted, we'll get into that. But Springfield is the highlight of the national news right now. Little old Springfield, a population that usually seen 50 to 60,000 people. It's just a small city. It's not, Dayton's a bigger city. We're right outside of Dayton. Columbus, obviously a bigger city. Cincinnati. So, we're right outside of Dayton. It's a small city. Like I said, 50 to 60,000 people. But over the last few years, we've seen a recent influx of our population. And this is due to the immigration and the migrants. Now they stem from, the influx really is coming. It's with a lot of our Haitian community. But this thing has been really subtly happening for a while, longer than people really remember. If any Springfield natives are on here, people that lived in Springfield, if you guys can remember back in 2017, 2018, I'm old enough to remember that there was narratives going around that these people in white vans, Haitians, were kidnapping people. That was the first narrative that was going around years ago. that the Haitian community or the people in white vans were kidnapping women and children, and they would be in our grocery stores, and there was, a language barrier, and they was following people around and things like this and things like that. Granted, I don't know about any of that, but I'm just saying this stems as far back as to 2017, 2018, when that was first happening. So they have been slowly migrating to Springfield. I told people then that if you look on a national scale, Ohio is one of the lowest states for cost of living. So, when these migrants and other, things are taking place, people are looking at things like that. And Ohio has a really, really low cost of living. Granted, our income, we're not really a large, income-based state either, but our income, our state of living is very low. It's very low. So people will look at that. Rent is pretty low here. Back then, average rent was $750 a month, $600, $750 a month. Now it's almost increased 100% since then. We're seeing double rent. We're seeing well over double those prices and stuff like that. Now, this is due to the influx of the capacity of the town. We go from 60,000 to now 77,000, 78,000. So we're seeing an influx of like 20,000, 15 to 20,000 people. So I get it from a city aspect and a program aspect, a utility aspect, as far as do we have the ability to sustain that amount of people in this amount of time? That's a conversation to be had. Now, with that, we have now recently been politicized. There were some posts that were going around. It started with some people locally in Springfield who kind of were just trolling, we've seen a lot of automobile incidents since the Haitian community has arrived in abundance, how they have, which, is a problem, and it is something to look at, and it is something that needs to be addressed. They are trying the hardest. Again, there's language barriers at the BMV that can cause issues. There's language barriers on the road. There's obviously comprehension barriers as far as understanding laws, understanding lights, and just different things like that when it comes to driving. So there is a learning curve there to be had, and there has been a large uptick in motorcycle accidents, and it's dangerous. It is a dangerous thing that's going on. Now, with that, it started to be covered by somebody from Springfield, Aunt Harris, who is a part of our community and stuff. He does other videos on TikToks and stuff like that. And he has a nice page going for himself. He's very funny and stuff. But he decided to start covering a lot of the car accidents that was going on. And he would go straight to the scene. And it got to the point where it got so much traction, people started to call him the mayor because it looked to be that he was shining light on a situation that was being had more than anybody in the city. So he gained a big following, started wearing mayor shirts. People would call him and tag him anytime there was a issue with the Haitian community. Now, posts started, with that, people love to troll on social media. Social media is what people use it for. People decided to put out narratives about the Haitian community, which have been, undercutted and talked about for years now. First it was kidnapping people. And then it became that they are stealing geese and stealing cats and dogs and eating them and barbecuing them. Now, if you know anything about the news and what's being covered in the national news before the Springfield spotlight, is that over in Haiti, they're having an upheaval and they've overthrown their government, and it's just a free-for-all, which is why the U.S. government has given jurisdiction for them to come over here, asylum, and they've given them, periods of time that they can flee to America right now while their government is in this change. Really, my conspiracy eye is always on. Really what's going on over in Haiti is America is getting ready to have control of their election and who they're getting ready to put in the office, so they have more democratic control over what's going on in Haiti. A little bit of history on Haiti. The Haitian Revolution, way back when in the 1806, from 1775 or something to 1806 with Toussaint Louverture, Dessalines. Haiti in the Western Hemisphere, as far as African diaspora, are some of the only people to gain their own independence. So there's a lot to take away from our Haitian brothers and sisters, and they are our brothers and sisters. People just got to understand that we are Black Americans, and yes, there's a culture difference, but as far as ethnicity and stuff like that, we are all really straight from African descent. This is just a difference of a few stops on the in the Middle Passage. That's the difference between us and our Haitian brothers and sisters. They were still under European control with the French, but they actually fought for their own independence, and they claimed independence, and Haiti became an independent state or independent nation. So I just feel like that is important to highlight in all this, that A, we can learn from them. B, you have to understand their history because of C, which is you got to understand when those things are at play and those things are historical truths. You got to see how they are portrayed in the media. Now, again, I have to be fair here. Is the driving spectacular? Am I wild about the driving? No, I'm not. Do I support them coming together, how they're coming together to set up shop and do what they're doing? I totally do. It's an example for what we should do. Sorry. It's an example for what we should have been done. We've been over here for going on for over 400 years, and we still have not been able to come together as quick as the Haitian community. These are brothers and sisters that come together. But this portrayal of them in the media, we have to be careful. We have to be careful. So now it gets picked up on national news. About a month ago, pages on Twitter have picked it up. Elon Musk retweeted, recorded. Some of the far right people kind of picked it up, and then it became a talking point on Fox News. But it went to being as far as being picked up on the election debates between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's two presidential candidates that we're about a month or two out from we're 2 months out from the national election. Early voting starts next month. So this became a talking point by Donald Trump, who said that they're eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio, met by laughs by Kamala Harris and fact checks by the ABC broadcast and the moderators and stuff like that. He said this is what he's seen on TV. I thought that it cost Donald Trump the debate because you cannot go to the debate with information you just got earlier that day. You should have fact checked things, got more information. You're losing a lot of your base. You were gaining traction on the Black vote. Rappers were supporting you. A lot of people in the African American community started to support Trump. But I think you blew a lot of it because there was no facts or evidence of that besides a few, memes and posts that people put. And this had a trickle-down effect onto the city. All last week, we had school closures for about 3 days last week. And these are our kids who are already struggling in academics due to, these are COVID babies. These are Nepo babies. This is having a major effect. And not to mention our Haitian brothers and sisters, the community in which we live, they're getting death threats and they're getting bomb threats. And that's one of the reasons why these schools was closed down due to bomb threats at City Hall and all different types of things. So you just, it has an everlasting effect. And now hate crimes are something to be looked out for. I believe, again, I don't want to use my platform to misrepresent anybody, but I'm pretty sure that there was an incident just recently with a Haitian member being jumped by some people in the community. We've also recently, before this whole debate thing, national spotlight on Springfield, we've had an uptick in white nationalism downtown, rallies, and anti-immigration rallies and stuff like that by members of these white nationalist groups that necessarily didn't make any headlines. It was met by a lot of uproar within the community and stuff like that, but that didn't make any headlines. So, I mean, I think just as much as the Haitian situation should, because these are talking points, guys. If you watch Fox and you watch CNN, these are talking points on the left, which is CNN and stuff like that. You would see that they would be more amped to pick up the whole KKK rallies and stuff like that, because they're using, racial divide as an agenda and stuff like that. And then on the right with the Fox News and stuff like that, they're, picking up this immigration things to highlight that this administration continues to flood in immigrants into our country to steal votes and to steal resources from other communities. This was obviously famously done up in New York, and then in Florida, and then New York, and Eric Adams and the governor of Florida. I'm having a brain fart. I know who it is, but I'm having a brain fart. They went back and forth for dropping busloads off of Haitian immigrants back. That was just as early as last year, 2 years ago last year. And then now claims are being made that Kamala and her administration and Biden's administration have dropped off more immigrants to Ohio, giving them funding and stuff like that. I just, want to use my platform to hash these things out and talk about these in a long forum here, and try to have a discussion to where we can kind of get to the bottom of some facts. Now, everybody's going to have their own different beliefs. I stand with the Haitian community. I do believe that we do need more resources brought here. I know we've tried at BMVs for translators at the bank. They're trying at these banking institutions because there's a lot of language barriers there. The schools are overwhelmed. Just some of these Haitians speak different languages, Creole, French. So there's language barriers there. And so I'm hard pressed to believe that they're going anywhere. We got 18,000 that have homes here, families here, which they will now, they're start to have children here. They're going to have a U.S. citizenship. They're not going to go anywhere. The browning and blacking of America is upon us, and it's in our face. But we just got to be careful as a community, especially as a culture, that we have to understand that we are not any different than our Haitian brothers and sisters. Like I said, we're a few stops difference from being them on a couple of slave ships. These are our brothers and sisters at the end of the day. So, an attack on them still becomes an attack on Black America. It's not much different, but a few stops in the transatlantic slave trade. They were shipped to France and fought for their independence. We were shipped to the States and so forth. So we just got to be very careful, because now, like I said, there's an uptick in threats. Springfield is on the national spotlight right now. And there's a couple of people I want to shout out to: Dorian, Camille, the Nation of Islam, some churches in the city and stuff. Everybody trying to band together to help support them in this time of need, because we got to watch. Because it's going to get very dangerous right now. It's going to get very dangerous for people. And I don't want that for any group of people. I don't believe that's right. Now, do I believe that policies were put in place and there's underhanded stuff that's put in place right now that is a little bit of a leftist agenda? Yes, I do believe that. And I do believe the American people have the right to question what is going on. I even made a comment under the MSNBC post that was about what's going on in Springfield, Ohio, on that, because our mayor, Rob Rue, and our city manager, Brian Heck, who I met both of them, Rob Rue said Trump said he wanted to come to Springfield potentially, and Rob Brew wasn't too wild. It didn't seem like he was too wild about it. He said there would be some trouble with that, and I commented under there, and I said that both of the presidential elects should come to Springfield. You know, you guys don't just put us in the limelight like that and put a target on our back, especially to the Haitian community, and then get to be so absolved from it. And you guys put us in the debate, and there's memes running around about, you know, people here eating cats and dogs and stuff like that. You know, that kind of speech is dangerous. So they both need to come here, and they both need to lay eyes on it for themselves is what they need to do. And they need to answer some questions. We deserve as a community to be able to ask them direct questions, not their team. The American people should be able to ask them questions. So we need to get our council hall together. We need to get the questions that need to be asked on behalf of the people, and we need to be able to express that to these these politicians who essentially should work for us. I mean, they're supposed to work for us. These jobs are paid jobs by American taxpayer dollars. And I just believe that we need some answers. We do need some answers. But on the meanwhile, we'll say, my mom always told me, you got to do one thing. You got two things: stay alive and stay black. So with that being said, I'm both of those things right now. So I got to come in defense of the Haitian community to make sure that there is no hate speech going on and there's no hate crimes that are being tolerated, because an attack on them will eventually be an attack on you. I've already been accused of being a Haitian. I've talked to the Haitian community. I work with the Haitian community. And some of them ask me if I speak Creole. Some of them ask me for directions because they think that I'm, Haitian sometimes. So, that kind of propaganda and that kind of stuff could easily turn sideways and be pointed in your direction. And, I'm not going to tolerate it. No way. So I'm not going to tolerate it. No way. So, that's just kind of where I want it to be in. And like I said, there's something going on in Haiti right now. They've already overthrown their government. They already set this whole thing up. If you guys know about the, let me see here, a few months ago. So here it is. And I'm giggling. It's not funny because it just feeds into the narrative. Let me see here. We got Jimmy Barbecue. Hey. And oh my goodness, he's a gang leader in Haiti. He leads the G9 Federation of Gangs, and they have been putting him. He's been in the news for a while now, and let's see here. Who controls Haiti? The government of Haiti is a semi-presidential republic, a multi-party system wherein the president of Haiti is the head of state, elected directly by popular elections. The prime minister acts as the head of government and is appointed by the president chosen from the majority party in the National Assembly. So Haiti is in upheaval right now. I think America is trying to get back into Haiti jurisdiction and Haiti control. Haiti is one of the poorest, if not the poorest, I believe maybe the poorest nation in the Western Hemisphere. And America always has their hand in something. So again, we just got to keep our eyes in the sky and our eyes on the prize on what is actually going on. Shame on us. Shame on us for watching our Haitian brothers and sisters come over to the States in the last 7 years and do for self and build on their own. And us not only are we jealous, but we don't even have the decency to get to know them and ask them how and why. You will begin to learn a lot and see things a little bit more clear for what they potentially may be. That there's a war going on, and I don't mean Ukraine and Russia and Israel and Hamas, and I mean the Western expansion is upon us. That's what's going on. There's Western powers at play, globalists at play that want to continue to expand their territory and dominance, and they're going to do that through democratic control. They want democracy on all governing nations across the globe. So they're trying to invade. They're using this Israel-Iran thing as a gauge to control and have democratic control over in the Middle East. I'm gonna just tell y'all what it is. Russia and Ukraine. Go figure. Russia, Soviet Union. They're not under democratic control right now. And America has their hand in that. So anywhere you look, that seems to be the underlying case here. Haiti, again, is under upheaval. People have fled Haiti. Haiti is being ran by gangs. This is what the American media is portraying right now, that it's being ran by gangs, is being overthrown. So we're going to have to, of course, go in there and save the day and put our own government in, put our own establishment in, and that's how we'll be able to settle Haiti. But these are all op agendas. These are all drawn out things that we've been working on as a country for a long time, and we're just seeing it in our lifetime. So everybody should just be aware, do some reading. We should read up on Toussaint Louverture. We should read up on Dessalines and kind of the history of Haiti and how they gained their independence. And so we can understand, who we have at our hand here. Again, guys, I think I'm going to be coming to you guys live a lot more, just to cut right through it so we don't got to wait a couple of days. And then by the time I'm on here, some of the topics that we discussed aren't relevant or as relevant. And news comes out so fast these days that, by the time I even release a video, the next big thing is being talked about and had. But I also don't want to cut you guys. I appreciate anybody that's tuned in. I'm going to leave this up on the channel for people to leave comments, likes, subscribe, share. I'll share this on different platforms. Again, this is Lord of Lips. It is Sunday. I want to say shout out to the Haitian, shout out to Dorian, shout out to people that's actually standing up for people. I just wanted to use my platform and my voice to kind of etch out some stuff and filter out some things that is going on. Kendrick, can't wait for the Super Bowl. I will be there in front of my TV, loud and in support. We're at a culture war right now, not only within the States, but across the globe. So I can't wait to hear your message. Nothing else from me. This is Lord of Lips signing out. Peace.